Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of The Guest, a short story by Albert Camus. Albert Camus is a French author and philosopher. This story, The Guest, was first published in 1957 in his only short story collection, Exile and the Kingdom. Albert Camus was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1957. In this story, he explores the tensions that were mounting towards the end of the French colonial period in Algeria. The story goes like this. Darrow is a French schoolmaster living in the desert region in the Atlas Mountains of French colonial Algeria. While he's looking outside the window, he notices a horseman and a pedestrian, that is, a man walking next to the horse, coming towards his school. And in a distance itself, he also finds that the horse looked very tired. As Daru grabs a sweater from the schoolroom, he thinks about the previous 8 months of drought, which had actually spoiled all the few crops that can be actually cultivated in that region because the soil is not that very good. And it has also killed a lot of local livestock as well as humans. And only 3 days earlier, that is after 8 months of blazing heat, there was intense snowfall everywhere and there was not even a light of rainfall to show that this heat is going to suddenly change into snow. And fortunately, the French administration was supplying food to all the people, and it was Daru who used to distribute that food to the local families to keep them nourished. Now, his schoolroom is actually a small place which he was using as a school and also for his as his house. And here he finds he has displayed blackboard with drawings of France's four rivers, and because the students were not there, the whole place looked a little bit of blizzard. And in spite of this simple lodging, that is using the school itself as his house, Daru always feels like a lord compared to the poor people around in that area. Now coming back to the window, Daru finds who the person is coming on the horse. It is an older Corsican police officer called Baldussi, and he was coming with an Arab prisoner in a traditional regional garb with his head lowered and hands bound. When both of them come to the school, he welcomes them and prepares tea to them because it is his custom. And because he wanted to give the tea to the prisoner, Daru requests Baldussi to untie his hands and then he gives him tea. Now Baldussi says that he'll be leaving and that the school teacher, that is Daru, has to escort this Arab to the French authorities in Tinguet, which is in the nearest town. And he says that he has to leave immediately because only limited staff are there and therefore he must go to his place without much delay. Baldussi says that it is not his work to do all this, but Baldussi tells Daru that during wartime everyone must be prepared to do all the work. So Daru asks what crime this man had done, and at that time Baldussi says that the Arab had murdered his cousin during a fight over some grains. And after that his villagers were hiding him from the police, but somehow the police have caught him. And he says that this man must be transferred to the police in Tinguet because his whole village wants to reclaim him. And Daru asks if the Arab, actually this Arab does not speak French, holds any anti-French sentiment, and for this the policeman says that he is doubtful about it, but you can never be sure for anything. And Daru feels disgusted at the prisoner's violent crime, and he says that he is willing to allow the prisoner to stay in his place for that night. Baldussi thinks for some time and then he asks Daru to sign a form stating that he had delivered the Arab prisoner to him, and though Daru doesn't want to sign initially, eventually he complies and he signs and he agrees to go and leave the person. And before leaving, Baldussi in fact tries to tie the hands of the Arab, but Daru says it is not necessary. And Baldussi feels that the prisoner may cause some damage to Daru, so he gives his revolver for protection. But Daru says that he has his own shotgun buried somewhere in the trunk. And feeling insulted, Baldussi leaves in a huff. Now Daru orders the prisoner in Arabic to wait in the schoolroom while he goes and has a nap in his room. And while he is going, he also grabs a revolver along the way. And after some time, Daru hears nothing from the next room and he feels happy thinking that the Arab had escaped. And that will definitely liberate him from having to decide the man's fate, whether to hand him over to the police or to set him free. But when he caught up and when he came, he saw that the prisoner remained in the same spot where Daru had left him. And as evening approached, Daru prepared a makeshift bed for the Arab and started making supper. The two men chatted for the first time, and the Arab asked Daru what will happen to him. And Daru did not really know what to answer him. And at the same time, he was also feeling uncomfortable with the prisoner in his room because Daru has always been alone here. And therefore, Daru was not able to fall asleep. And during the night, he saw the Arab going outside, and again he hoped that this prisoner will escape. But Daru was disappointed when he realized that the prisoner had simply gone out to relieve himself. In the morning, Daru prepared a package of food for the journey. Initially, the prisoner refused to budge, but once Daru joined him, they started walking. And after 2 hours, they came to the crossroad, where Daru gave the Arab the food and some money, and he showed him the route to go to the police station in Tingwit, which was in the east. And at the same time, he showed another route which was in the south, and he said that that area was inhabited by Berbers, and these people will definitely welcome him and also offer him protection. And visibly agitated, the Arab attempted to speak, but he was silenced by Daru, and Daru said goodbye to the prisoner and went back to the school. As he walked, Daru turned around to find the prisoner still standing in the same spot where he left him. He continued walking, and after walking for some more time, he turned back and he was not able to see the Arab. Panicked, Daru went back under the blazing sun, sweating profusely as he reached the area where he left the man. And he saw the prisoner walking towards Tingwit. And upon returning to the schoolhouse, Daru finds a message which is not addressed by anyone, and it was clumsily inscribed on the French rivers adorning the blackboard. And it read, "You handed over our brothers, you will pay for this." And in this vast landscape of his homeland, the school teacher is overwhelmed with angst and solitude, and the story ends here. It's a beautiful story which portrays the tension which a person undergoes, particularly during the war times. And if you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.